Call Colum, Eastwood.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Speaker. In all of this, we forget what some of this work of the Ombudsman is actually about. A lot of it's about getting to the truth of what happened in our very difficult past, and all the parties around this chamber are involved in the Haas talks, and we've all committed to coming up with a solution. I don't think, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we'll ever get a solution that we really need unless everybody comes to the table and tells the truth. Whether that's the IRA, the UDA, British Government, or members of the RUC. The DUP seem to be relying very heavily on the Retired Police Officers Association, and Mr. Craig referenced an incident in Derry, a recent report in 1988, in August 1988, when the IRA kidnapped a man and his friend, took him out of his flat in Craigan for 6 days. His good neighbours came looking for him, and 3 of them, Sean Dalton and Sheila Lewis, they were killed at the scene, and Jared Curran was seriously injured and died 7 months later. These are the people who require the truth of what happened in the past. In July this year, the Ombudsman published a public statement upholding 3 of the 4 complaints made by the family of Sean Dalton. And in October this year, the Retired Police Officers Association sent out a press release announcing a so-called rebuttal of the Ombudsman's findings in this case. They also informed the media that copies of this rebuttal had been given to certain politicians. When the Dalton family asked for the rebuttal, the report, it took 10 days before the former police officers finally provided them with the report. So they gave it to certain politicians but wouldn't give it to one of the families of the deceased. And in fact, anybody who reads the report and knows anything about the issue, knows anything about Derry, will realise that this supposed rebuttal is riddled with factual inaccuracies. The retired officers have transformed McDee's hot food bar into a McDonald's. That McDonald's didn't arrive in Derry until about 12 years later. There's a number of mistakes, and they're not all as simple as that. The chair of the Retired Police Officers Association, David Turkington, was informed several weeks ago that they actually got the date of the bombing and the murders wrong. The date is still incorrect on their website. The rebuttal places a hijacked vehicle in the wrong street, and they even got one of the names of one of the victims incorrect in the report. What kind of confidence can people have in this particular organisation to come to the truth if they can't even get simple facts like that correct? And the Dalton family, I can say this, are deeply hurt at the insinuation in the report that Mr. Dalton is to some degree responsible for his own death. According to the rebuttal, Mr. Dalton, instead of informing police of his concerns for a neighbour who hadn't been seen, instead chose to enter the flat where the booby trap bomb had exploded. Is the point that they're trying to make that it's somehow Mr. Dalton's fault, not that it's the IRA's fault, and not that it's the police officers' fault for not going in and dealing with that bomb, or not making the area out of bounds? There's other very serious accusations surrounding this document, Mr. Speaker, and I know some have been brought to the attention of the Minister for Justice. One real concern, I think, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that the family has and other families will have, it seems that the retired officers have put information into the public domain, both in this document and in a radio interview, that they were not authorised to put into the public domain. The most glaring example concerns the allegation that the area was declared out of bounds and local people were not informed of the presence of a booby trap bomb in order to protect an agent within the IRA. Mr. Maguire was unable to substantiate this aspect of the complaint. And the difficulties of getting to the truth in all these kind of issues are very well known. The police service, the security services, the British Government never publicly acknowledged the presence of an agent. So it's extraordinary that the retired police officers feel able to do it today.
The member draws remarks to close.
Gladly, yeah.
Well, the member acknowledged the fact that the Ombudsman actually doesn't want to have to deal with all of the historic cases. In fact, no alone set out a legacy, a single unit to deal with the legacy of the past.
Well, that's right, and I hope all. Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Mrs. Kelly, as well. All parties are committed to I hope, to finding an ethical and comprehensive mechanism for dealing with the past. The investigation into this atrocity has faced major obstacles: non-cooperation and the absence of key documents. The then divisional commander of the RUC in Derry at the time, Mr. David Turkington, refused to cooperate, as did officers within Special Branch. Mr. Turkington, now chairman of the Retired Police Officers Association, is threatening to encourage his former officers to withhold information. They're doing that already. It's a hollow threat, Mr. Deputy Speaker. The families concerned in this case and concerned in many other cases deserve the full truth of what happened to their loved ones, and they deserve the police service and retired police officers to come forward with all the truth that they know, and the same goes for paramilitaries.
I call Tom Elliott.